Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another photo trippy kind of edit from Lightroom. And the other week, last week, in fact, I was in Wales and I took this picture of Penny Fan. I really love it. This is going in my portfolio as a best of the year so far. The two shots that I got today, really pleased with, and I'm going to show you how I edited it just after this. Hello there and welcome back to another Lightroom edit. Now, I've been doing these Lightroom edits mostly because it's content, and getting content at the moment is a little bit difficult. And so what I'd really love to know is, are you getting anything out of these Lightroom edits? Is it something that you'd like to see more of? Is it something that you think, actually, no, we could do without? Do let me know. Once the lockdown is over and I'm able to get out and go to more places and make more videos like this, there's a chance that I won't be doing the Lightroom edits anymore, or doing them very rarely. It all depends on you guys and what your feedback is. But today we are going to do a Lightroom edit, and we are going to do a Lightroom edit in the style of, well, me, I guess, because we have this image of Penny Fan, which was taken last week in my Brecon Beacons road trip from the side of the road. As it is right now, it doesn't look particularly impressive, but there is something that I quite like about the framing of this photo. There is something that I quite like about this photo in general, and so we are going to edit it until it is the perfect photo. That's the idea. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by giving it a little bit of blue. Now, the colour temp on this isn't quite right because it was a bit hazier. I think I'm probably going the wrong way. There we go. That's better. So we want a bit more yellow in the picture just to start off with. It had a little bit more yellow in the picture to start off with, and we're going to give it just a hint of red. Actually, no, it doesn't need it. It doesn't need the hint of red, so we're going to leave that alone. We will jump to highlights and shadows. Highlights I'm going to put all the way down. Shadows I'm not going to do very much with. I'll take them up a bit. But the shadows aren't particularly dense anyway. If you took it all the way up, look, it would look like that, and I think that's too much. I don't want to alter the shadows too much, so we'll leave it around about 20 there. We are also going to obviously whites till that goes away, and then blacks. Actually, I'm just going to leave that there because I don't want those coming in too much, and we're going to fade those out a little bit later anyway. Texture, this is going to be the big one for us today. See the way that changes. You can take that out, it's a bit more paintery. So let's do that. Let's put. I tell you what, I can do it here. If I do that, suddenly you can see the texture sort of snap in there. And we're going to go a bit wild with texture and clarity because we're going to do minus 23 there, and so to some extent the clarity is removing some of the texture, or the declaritizing, it's not a word, is removing some of the texture, but the texture is really what it's doing is putting back some of the stuff, leaving kind of that nice ethereal stuff that happens when you remove your clarity. That's why we're doing it. We will dehaze, and all of a sudden the picture comes into a lot more relief, which is what we wanted. We'll stick this up to maybe kind of like that, and then we're going to drop. And this is a trick that I like doing a lot, which I don't know if it's a good trick. I don't know if there's anyone out there who goes, no, you shouldn't do that, it's terrible, it'll ruin your image. But I like doing this. You put your vibrance up quite heavily, and then you drop this down again quite heavily, and to me it feels like you've got a lot more control over the colours and things that you've got in your image. That's what it feels like anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, we are going to stick probably about 90% in here. Now there's a little bit of noise up here that we might want to try and reduce, but it's so minimal I'm not going to bother with it too much. We will do this and that, and we've got the right lens in there already, so that's fine. And again, just see the difference before and after. It does make a difference, and I think it is worth it. And I know people don't like it. I'm going to drop a vignette on there as well. A 20 amount vignette isn't too bad. So we'll drop that on there, and everything will be nice and fine and dandy, and we've done it, right? No, not quite. As with the last Lightroom edit we're doing, I'm not changing the aspect ratio on this just yet. I've got a crop of it, which is 4:5, but right now, actually, I want both sized images, so it makes more sense to me to do this edit and then to crop it a bit later on. So that's what we'll be doing, or rather, I will be doing when a crop is a simple thing to do. I don't need to show you how to do that in Lightroom. Okay, so we're gonna go right into our linear gradients, and we want a big linear gradient, which is going to go right from the bottom of this right up here. Although we might back that off just a touch, and we're not going to do much on this. We'll just take that down, just like that. That's all we're doing with this. And then at the top we're going to have a linear gradient as well. That is going to go up from here and come kind of down to there. So this is going to be quite a big one with quite a big fade on it. Little tip here: if you hold down the Shift key, you can do this without it moving like that. Which is kind of useful sometimes. Now this is where we're going to go slightly different. You can see we've started to get some of the clouds and things in the sky already with the dehazing that we did earlier on, but we're going to push a little bit more blue into the sky here, because we want to start out with it having a really nice strong blue sky, which is the important thing. We are going to push. That exposure is going to come up a little bit from there, and we are actually going to take some of that colour back out again, because the whole idea of this photo when I was editing it was the subtle colours of nature. It wasn't to show these really dark dramatic things, but it was to get the subtlety in the tones, because actually when I was there, that's kind of what I was seeing in the thing. And I do kind of understand that a lot of what photographers reproduce in Lightroom is actually what they see themselves when they were taking the picture. So they want to show the world what they've seen when they take the picture, and this is no different for me either. So okay, so this is the start of these things where again we're going to do what we normally do on this. We're going to add in a little bit of we'll probably add in maybe a stop there, just under a stop, just over a stop of that, and then we're going to add in some clarity just to make things pop a little bit. And I do quite like the way that the branches pop a little bit in there. So that's basically the idea for all of these things. We're going to light some bits up now, so we will duplicate this. Obviously we don't want anything which is quite as big as this, so we will take the cool, blimey. We'll take this and shrink it down a lot. We'll stick it over here, and we're going to make one that goes... now, I'm angling this because I want the light to be at the same angle. That fall-off needs to be the same angle as the landscape. That's an artistic decision there. That's why they call it arty-farty. Okay, yeah, same... basic settings for all of this. That's where we're going with it. Exactly the same sort of thing that we're going to want up here as well, over here. But if you see, now that we're lighting this up, now that we're starting to light this up, what we're starting to get here is a little bit more of that dehazed look, and or that hazed look, I should say. And I didn't really want that, so if we can push that up a little bit, there we go, that's a bit better. And maybe we could add a little bit more texture into there as well. Maybe. What do you think? Let's go with it, because instead of lighting this up, I think we actually need to darken this down. That's a bit better. That's a little bit better. Doesn't need to be much, just enough. Just enough to give it a flavour. Right, we're going to go with what? Oh, I know what. This over here will annoy me if it's not quite as dark as it should be. And when I opened up the shadows, even though I didn't open them up very much, it lightened this up in a way that I didn't quite like. So I'm going to add in a little bit of dehaze into that, and I'm actually going to bring the exposure on that one down just a touch. Again, not much, just enough to give it that kind of the feel that I want, and that to me is a little bit better. Now what I want to do now is do something that's going to affect that whole landscape there. So we'll click in the middle there, we'll make a big change here like so, and then we're going to actually push in some green into that, because there we go, that's a better green. And actually what I want to do here is to really make that come alive. We'll really push that, and then we're going to darken that down a bit, because there you go. And like I was saying, kind of subtle colors, so that now that we've got that green in there, we can actually we've actually got some greens, we've got some browns. It's not all green, it's not all sort of the worst colors of the world. We'll duplicate that, we'll shift it up here. We're going to make this thinner and a bit wispier. There we go, something like that. We'll reset the, in fact I'm going to just reset the effects. We'll push in a bit of lightness into here, and we're going to push in a little bit of clarity like we were doing before. So this is same sort of thing that we were doing before. This still isn't quite right. I think there's going to be a few settings that I'm going to make once we're done here. And I'm just going to make a new brush. Now I put this in the air because I didn't want it to be affected by the brush underneath. We'll do that. See what I need to do here is just to drop that down. So basically we've added with this some light, but with this one actually we don't want that light back in it, so we're going to take it out. I think also little itty bit of clarity and a little bit of dehazing on that, and there you go, you've just got a little bit more structure to that, and I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so that's the image, but it's not quite the image as we saw it, because once we've done this, I want to go and make some sort of final changes to the kind of the basics of what we've got here. Most of it I'm happy with, but I want to change the exposure, and I want to add in more contrast into that as well. So we're going to take the exposure down maybe to that. I think that's good. I just want to drop this a little bit, and then I want to add some contrast in here as well. There we go. And I'm going to go back into here once more time, because actually this green, I like the green. I think there's a tad too much of it. It needs to be, like I was saying earlier, it's all about the subtle colours of nature. And there we go. There you have it. That's the image. It might. I'm looking at the other one on the other monitor, and I may have added just a little bit too much green in this bit up here. Where are we? Here. I could actually take that down. Maybe. That's a bit better. That's a little bit better there. And there you can see now that we've got, let's just take this off. You see now we're going from this white, these nice whites up here, all the way down through the brown of this rock here, and then all the way down into the green there as well. Now, to me, it was this was a really favourite image of mine. I wasn't expecting to get this sort of thing today. There is one other thing here. This bit up here looks like it's not quite as dark as it should be. And I'm wondering if we can bring that down just a little bit. If adding in, there we go. Look, just backing that off a bit. We've got a lot more texture in there. That's better. That's what I was hoping for. You see, the other week when I did the Hendred Falls thing, and I said at the time, what you're going to get on this is not a realistic image, but using these same techniques, you can pull out something that is actually a realistic image, that is a good image of what you got. And this is an example of that. This is the example that shows you that actually you can take an image which, you know, is relatively flat, and you can change it and make it pop, make it feel like a real image, feel like you're actually really there. And hopefully that's what I've been able to do with this image. I'd love to know what you think. I'd also love to know if you've used these similar techniques yourself in your own images. It'd be great to find out. Thanks ever so much for watching today. Until next time. Next time we're going on another photo trip. It's the last photo trip that I could have recorded before the whole lockdown started. So this is it. This is the very, very last one. So don't make sure you don't miss that. And of course, we've got a business chat on Friday. We've got our vloggy type videos are going out on Tuesdays at the moment. I'm just experimenting with different days and times and things. So do tune in to all of those, and if you don't want to miss them, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon at the end, and hopefully you'll get a notification every time I put a new video up. Until next time, that's it from me today. Please do leave your comments below about the image, about what you liked, about what you didn't like, about what you've tried yourself, and about what you would like to see done in future. And thanks very much for watching. It's a pleasure to make these videos for you. Until next time, please come again, stay safe, keep your family safe. I'll see you on the next video. Bye everybody.